sometimes I ask myself, why do I do this? Why do I put myself out making comments on the world out there? The world out there, that magnificent place that's been rampaged. It's a China shop that serves as a place to rape, to rape with your experiences. Yeah, this is an interesting analogy, a metaphor. To rape the world with your experiences, and from the level of, I guess, the complete total dysfunction, the actions by people who go to extremes to actually rape the world with their experiences. And I include in that the idea of making the world your oyster. Making the world your oyster. You want to have everything that the world can offer to you, and before you die, you want to kick at this can as many times as you possibly can. And I don't know why I put myself out this way. Like I put other people, I think, may do it too, but as a painter, as a contrarian, this is very much part of being an artist. And I'm not an artist primarily, I'm a painter. And I make sculptures. I'm a sculptor, I'm a painter. I work on paintings and sculptings. And I suppose people refer to people that do that as artists, I guess. Yeah, but I resist the idea of artists because, you know, everybody is an artist from the time that they're 5 years old and have their pictures on fridges. People insist, and this has nothing to do with the young people of 5 that enjoy making a picture. It has nothing to do with art. It has to do with our essence, our being, our nature. We want to express ourselves with colors and lines and all those kind of things. It has nothing to do with being an artist. That comes later. A culture is created around a concept of this essence that's within all of us. And I'm gonna comment. I probably shouldn't, because people that I know, like this Anthony Bourdain guy, who are gonna probably resent me for saying anything about this fellow who has supposedly been found dead in his room, or he has been found dead in his room, and it's considered a suicide. And I'm going to just reflect on this for a moment. I'll put myself out here. I'll talk about this and the hoopla around this guy. I had no idea this person was actually on the planet until he died. And you know, everybody is now presenting opinions and ideas and how wonderful this person was. And I just listened to a few things he said in interviews, and he fits the bill perfectly for raping the world with your experiences and clouding it in food, culinary stuff that he discovered, the magnificent variety of foods on the planet which represent different cultures. Oh, isn't it magnificent? Yeah, okay, fine. I look at this again. And I had a conversation about this, and the regurgitation of people jumping on board of loving someone they don't even know. They don't even know. This guy, from what I understand, from what the history is that is presented to me, that I listened to, he was an addict. He was a drug addict. He was a totally dysfunctional guy. And he was absorbed by a system. He straightened himself out, and he was absorbed into the bosom of the reptile system, the culture of death, and he was hobnobbing on the planet, and he found his latest love, who's 20 years younger than him, and he is raping the world through his experiences. He doesn't want to leave any stone unturned. And these are the people that are held up. I don't get it. Honestly, I don't get it. Where is the wisdom? Where is the profound wisdom left in a humanity that can only look for the spectacle that is being presented to us? Why do we always look for the spectacle? Because for me, it's so obvious. Whatever the circumstances around his death, whether he's dead, fine, yes. Probably because he overstepped somewhere along the line, because from what I could tell, the world's my oyster. I'm raping the world with my experiences. Yes, I say this, and you're going to be upset maybe because you like this guy, and you know, maybe he said some good things. Apparently, he was ragging, and this is This is a good thing. I see this like, if it's true, he was exposing the Weinstein guy, this mogul, this Hollywood disgusting person, with his behavior, with his misogynist behavior, and possibly even worse, attacking the innocence in life called children. Children are completely, totally vulnerable to the big boys. It's the boys. It's the boys. Women are involved on a very minor scale, I think, but complicity is part of it, I suppose. Yes, women are complicit, but the boys are in there, gratifying themselves, raping the world for their experience. They need to experience. And from a level of 1 to 10, for me, this whole iconic culture is part of that 1 to 10. Maybe not the child raping murderous bastards. I would say that the Baudin people fit into the very top of this, like at the 7, 8 level. Maybe they actually defend children. Maybe they find it on some level repulsive, but then they represent themselves through a system that has established itself to say the world is your oyster and take whatever the hell you want from it. And his own life, his own lifestyle, this is all there on. You can check this out on YouTube about his own declarations of the depravity and degeneracy in his life. And he had an epiphany, but he can't stop continuing this behavior. What would have been for me to admire a person like this? Is to totally reject all that is expected to be of value when you succeed. Whenever a person succeeds and he's wearing his ripped blue jeans and looks like part of you and me, I'm telling you, they're not one of you and me. They're not part of you and me. They're a different level of being. Whether or not they even think themselves of having some value to the general well-being, this is something I suppose you could argue, and I say, I think he came out and attacked the people that are really of major damage. But that does not exonerate people like that, or at least, let me put it this way, they don't deserve my regard and my respect. I have no respect, no regard for these people. I didn't even know this guy was alive with his stupid food stuff. Food, fine. You experience the world through your food. You rape the world with your food experience, whatever that is. As long as we attach ourselves to this fundamental principle of not recognizing what it actually means to be a human being in its most essential way. Like I said, you pin that picture that a child of 5 or 6 or 10 paints on your fridge. It has nothing to do with art. It has nothing whatsoever to do with art. Art comes after. Artists come later. This is a primordial desire that people still have, fortunately, and we exalt it, we revel in it, but then we have to disturb it, we have to bastardize it into some kind of activity that is cultural and magnificent and beautiful. And it's the same way this Baudin represents to me this entire, this sense, like I said, you rape the world with your experiences. And that is culture. I call it the culture of death. And as a painter, as a sculptor, I don't know why I put myself out this way, and it's probably because I am so incensed, I'm so offended, I'm mortally wounded by the fact that there is a nuclear plant that has exploded and no one pays any attention to the fact this is decimating all of biology on this planet, like all the other nuclear plants. And this is a culprit on the highest level of culprits, right along the line with all the child sacrificing, murdering bastards. These nuclear plants are times a million. They're doing that times a million because that's going to be the death count once these plants unleash their lethal weaponry against all of biology. And why am I so incensed? Why am I so incensed with a culture that doesn't work? Because it doesn't work. Why am I so incensed? And the representatives of that culture are like targets for me. In terms of my own understanding, who I am, the best part of me, I come out on this stuff because I realize this has nothing to do with what's important to me. People, this Baudin guy, you don't even know this guy. He's an indulger. He indulged all his life, and then he channeled it into some sort of expression of what? Like a controlled, he's like a controlled substance drug to people. This is why they admire types like this. Let him write his books, let him do his stuff, but stop iconizing, making him into an icon, which he's not. He's a dysfunctional individual. And if he did take his own life, that even confirms the fact that he was dysfunctional. But I think there is another story here. I think he overstepped his bound. I think he overstepped in some way and they whacked him. I think this is called star whacking or something. I don't know. I don't wish ill on anyone. None. No person. But to iconize or to make people into icons that don't deserve it is like, it's unconscionable. I mean, I find myself so repulsed and offended by this, considering, like I say, the greatest event has occurred. A nuclear plant called Fukushima blowing up, and there is absolutely no reference, no news, no nothing. No, let's keep our eyeballs on this Baudin guy and his stupid cooking shit, you know? Why do I care about his cooking shit? Eat a meal that's nutritious. Don't worry about your culinary delights. I'm gonna have garlic bread tonight from my garlic from my garden. I'm going to experience something magnificent. I know this. It's garlic bread from my garden. Do I need to go on a trip and kill a lot of animals and have it in cordon bleu or whatever in a certain way, the way he was talking about vegetarians, a bunch of fruitcakes. Yeah, exactly. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. I'm still having some cheese and stuff, and it is an issue to some extent. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to post this. Baudin, right? You keep your icons in your headlights and see where it'll get you.